The Hamilton County Coroner presented the results of the autopsy on Ryan Dumbass Hinton, and everyone immediately jumped to conclusions. Naturally, there are a ton of YouTube commenters out there that desperately are hoping the autopsy shows that Ryan was shot down in cold blood. What does that do for them? I have no idea. If they open the evidence box and find that the officer fired in self-defense, it devastates them for some reason. Look, the officer can be found to be innocent, and you don't have to give up all you believe in. You can still remain a woke-infested commie and believe the officer acted in self-defense. At any rate, I have tried to figure out from the description of Ryan's injuries what happened, and I think I know. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's time for the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
So let's watch. This is Hamilton County Coroner Lakshmi Samarko. She has been the coroner for about 13 years, and she studied electrical engineering as an undergraduate. Wow, she must be pretty smart. I hear that you have to be a freaking smart person to understand electrical engineering. Now, a lot of people who tune into the propaganda channels don't understand the difference between a medical examiner and a coroner. The medical examiner will do the autopsy. The coroner is more of an administrative official who will take the results of the autopsy and present them to the public and file all the necessary paperwork. The medical examiner is probably going to be a witness for any upcoming trial. The coroner probably not. Now, their roles will differ from one state to another, but that's the typical rundown. Oh, before I go any further, note that I have no background in medicine whatsoever. However, I did read the medical examiner's report on the injuries sustained by Joseph Rosenbaum when Kyle Rittenhouse turned him into a good sexual deviant. And I nailed it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I was the first to break it down for an audience, even though my audience was only about 20 people. But here goes.
So Mr. Hinton had 3 gunshot wounds to his body, and this is in no particular order.
This is important because we tend to believe that the order tells us which order the injuries occurred. Not so. In fact, I think the last injury that she describes was caused by the first shot.
But there was one in the left forearm, and there was an entrance wound and an exit wound, and it was soft tissue injury only. Did not contact any bone, and just skin wounds, entrance and exit.
I think we can forget all about this injury. As far as I can tell, it doesn't tell us anything.
There was a second gunshot wound in the left lateral chest, so underneath the axilla, meaning the armpit, and that one did traverse the chest, and it did traverse through the left ventricle, and it exited the chest near the sternum.
Now, we normally think of the chest as the front of the body, but it actually refers to the entire upper torso. Here, the bullet enters the armpit, blows up Ryan's heart, and passes through the front of his body right in the center of his chest. Was he shot in the front? No. Was he shot in the back? No. It seems as if he was shot in his side.
We believe that is the lethal wound. There was a third, basically just beneath the skin wound, and it was in the right posterolateral chest, adjacent to the shoulder, and it was soft tissue only. It traveled beneath the skin and ended just beneath the skull, and we were able to retrieve that bullet.
Now, morons all over the internet are claiming post-lateral chest. He was shot in the back. Take a look at our pet nitwit Richard Taylor here. Autopsy proves Ryan Hinton was shot in the back, possibly by a separate officer. This is what happens when a person makes no attempt to understand what really happened. He really, really badly wants the officer to be guilty. So when he heard shot in the back, he immediately jumped to the conclusion that Ryan was running away from the officer, and the officer pumped one right through his back. But the officer we're talking about was in no position to do that, so that must have been from the other officer. Yeah, it really is that dumb. But then it is Richard Taylor. But neither he nor they were paying attention. The bullet traversed across his back, not through it. She said it passed just beneath the skin and was only a flesh wound. It ended up near the base of his skull. Now, do you see why a coroner will resist saying shot in the back, which has all kinds of unintended connotations? Now, taking all this into account, I think I know what happened. Ryan is running between the two large garbage bins. The cop sees him and will claim that he perceived a threat, Ryan pointing his gun at him. A half-second later, the cop fires his first shot. But by this time, Ryan has moved across his left by about 6 feet. This means that by the time the officer fires, he is facing Ryan's side. This bullet passes just under the skin across his back, coming to rest at the base of his skull. The officer immediately pumps another round. In this short time, Ryan has moved a couple of feet further. This bullet passes under Ryan's armpit, strikes a bone, ricochets through his heart, then passes through the front of Ryan's chest. Keep in mind that I could be wrong, but everything drawn here correlates to what we heard from Dr. Samarco, as well as what I would consider to be typical human behavior. So how does this play into the officer's claim of self-defense? Well, that's for another video. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.